Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the 3 by the Sea Designs podcast. This is episode 23. It's the first episode of the new year. So happy new year to everyone. Today is Friday, January 6th, 2023. And my name is Kim and I own an Etsy shop with my mom, Dreama, and my sister, Becky. We have handmade project bags, handmade stitch markers, and hand-dyed yarn in our shop. And welcome to another episode. It's been a crazy 2022 year. So much happened and we brought so many wonderful things to the shop. And I can't wait to share all of the plans that we have for 2023 with you. There have been quite a few new subscribers to the channel over the last month or so. So welcome to all of you and thank you for subscribing. We're almost at the 1,000 subscriber mark. It's hard to believe that last January, so just a year ago, we started this channel and it was just a fun way to connect with everyone and to show you what we were adding to the shop and to show you the things that I'm working on. And it's just been so fun. We're almost, like I said, at the 1,000 mark for subscribers. So once we get there, we are going to do a huge giveaway to say thank you so much. It'll be here on YouTube with its own special video. And we're just so excited. So thank you. And if you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and do that. A lot of people think that they are subscribed, but they're not. But every time someone subscribes or likes the video or comments, it helps us, it helps YouTube to know to spread the word about our videos. And it's just such a helpful way for us to build the community that we have here at 3 by the Sea. So as you can see behind me, there is not much yarn left on the yarn wall. I'm gonna cut away for a second and do a short little video to show you the things that we have left. In just a second, I'll do that. But today's episode is gonna kind of be a year in review for not just the things that we did for 3 by the Sea, but also the things that I have made over the last year. And I'm not going to show you everything because it's a lot, but I will kind of post some pictures and show some of the things and just do a little bit of reflecting on how 2022 went and some plans that I have for 2023 as far as my knitting and making goes, I guess. So I'm gonna cut away now, show you the little bit of yarn that we have left in the shop, and then I'll come back to you. So as you can see, we do not have much left at all. We do have one mini skein set left in the Sweet Shop on the gold stellina. Look how pretty. So we have one of those left. We have a couple of, this is mohair. That's our Sweet Shop colorway. We have it on gold stellina. So how cute would those look together since they're both gold stellina. We have a Cookies for Santa on our MCN base, which is our coquina base. We have Shiny Bright on mohair. So beautiful. And it looks like we have one skein of our fingering weight Shiny Bright. This may be for an order that I just haven't done yet, but it's here on the wall, so I figured I'd show it. We have Chrysanthemum on our Venice base, which is our mohair. We have a couple of Triple Berry Tarts sock sets. I think we only have two. There may only be one because one of these may be for an order. I haven't done the last couple days of orders, so We have a couple of nocturnes, a couple of berry kiss. Looks like one's on DK, one's on fingering. Same thing with sprig and lagoon. Fingering weight DK, fingering weight DK. Beach hut. This is our MCN base, and that looks like our Sanibel base. So MCN, fingering weight. They're both fingering weight, but one of them has cashmere in it. And then our newer one, this is Sugar Plum. We have it on fingering weight, DK, Surrey alpaca, and this is probably MCN. Yes. Then we have weathered wood. We restocked weathered wood, so we have it on fingering weight. I believe we just have it on fingering weight and the mohair. Everything else sold. And then we have our ivy and our mulled wine. These were the ones that we came out with at Christmas time. So mulled wine, this is a fingering weight, 75-25. And then I think we have it on a couple different bases for the ivy. So this is our fingering weight, DK. We have it on our gold stellina. And then we have it on mohair and MCN. So that's it, folks, for the yarn. We are already getting ready to start our new collection for spring. It's already in the works, and we have a few things before that I will talk about with you in just a couple minutes. One thing I wanted to mention about these two. So since this is red, sort of cranberry colors, this would be a great Valentine's Day yarn because of all of the red in it. So if you're looking for an alternative to traditional reds and purples and pinks for Valentine's Day yarn, which I love, but if you're looking for something a little bit different, that one would be a good one. And then ivy will be perfect for St. Patrick's Day knitting. So any of you Irish knitters out there, or you just love to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, this green would be absolutely so fun to use for St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so let's talk about some shop news. There's quite a few new exciting things that are happening over the next couple of weeks. Last episode, I talked about the Charlie Brown Valentine's Day mystery yarn set that we have currently in the shop. We put it up right after the last episode, or right before, I can't remember, but it's been up for a little while. You guys have been pre-ordering that. It will ship out the last week of January. So it'll ship out the week of the 23rd. And so you guys will have it right in time for February. And we are going to do a fun Valentine's Day knit along. So, well, actually it's not a knit along, it's a make along. I'll put a picture up of it here and of the rules. So if you have not already ordered your Charlie Brown mystery yarn set and you would like that, it's going to be a 100-gram skein of fingering weight yarn, a 20-gram mini, and it's also going to come with a fun little progress keeper or stitch marker. You get to choose the clasp. So it's all a mystery. This is the inspiration picture that we have for it. It'll be fun and bright and whimsical, and we have done mysteries in the past and everyone has always been so pleased with them. So we think you guys are really gonna love this one as well. And there's gonna be a fun make-along to go with this. So the rules for the make-along are, it's gonna start February 1st and it'll run through the end of February. So basically for the whole month of February. You can pick any pattern to make, and you can do a knit pattern or a crochet pattern. The rules are, for the yarn, you can use any 3by Designs yarn that we have made in the past, or anything that we currently have in the shop. If you use the new Charlie Brown mystery yarn for Valentine's Day, you get an extra entry with your finished object. So there'll be 2 prizes to give away. One will be in our private Facebook group called the Mermakers, and then the other one will be on Instagram. So you'll use the hashtag, I'll put the hashtag up here. I think it's 3BTS Valmal. So 3 by the Sea Valentine's Make Along. So the hashtag will be up here. So you can use that hashtag on Instagram to post your progress pics and your finished object pictures. And we will pull the prize from that, as well as we'll have a thread in our Facebook group as well. So if you have not joined our Facebook group, the link is down below in our description box to our Mermakers Facebook group. It's for any kind of makers, whether you're a knitter, crocheter, spinner, weaver, a cross stitcher, any kind of making fiber related that you like to do. We would love to have you join our Facebook group. It's a fun group of people, and we sometimes post like sneak peeks in there for our for that community. So and the make along will also be going on there as well. So that's something that's really exciting that's coming up very, very soon. What else? I talked a little bit about the YouTube 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So here's how this will work. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, which we're super, super close, just a handful of people away from, I'll do a separate video for that where we announce what the giveaway is and something to comment and on that video, and we'll do a giveaway here on the channel. So thank you guys again so much for your support and this community and all of the love and just encouragement and everything that you have given us over the last year. It's been so fun to get to know all of you, and we really, really appreciate each and every one of you, every comment, every like, every share, all of it. So that's another thing coming up. What else? Let's see. Okay, so next weekend, which will be January 14th on Saturday, January 14th, we are going to update the shop with some Valentine's themed items. It will be mostly stitch markers and progress keepers, and there'll be a Valentine's mystery grab bag for stitch markers and progress keepers. And we are also going to have a brand new mini set. It will have 6 20-gram minis in it, and it will be in the Candy Hearts theme. I'm not going to show it to you yet. I will post pictures of it on Instagram and in a few days. And of course, I'll show it on our next podcast, which will be in 2 weeks. But maybe I'll do a little mini video here for next weekend, just to kind of give you an idea of what the yarn and the charms will look like. But that will be on Saturday on the 14th, probably around noontime. That's usually when we do it. So new things coming to the shop. And then in February, we will have another brand new yarn that comes out probably the second week of February. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. We already have our next mystery sock set planned, and that will come out in February as well for the pre-order. So there's just lots of fun things coming up. And then of course our spring update, which will be our spring collection of new project bags, new stitch markers, and new yarn. That will come out mid-March. We're thinking either March 11th or March 18th. Sorry, I keep looking at my calendar. I just want to make sure I have these dates right. So yes, so about 2 months from now, it's still very much into winter time, and we're not rushing anything. We're coming out with things as the seasons change. And so our first big collection for 2023 will be in March, just in time for the beginning of spring. And it's going to be so, so fun. So is that it for shop news? Let's see. I think that's it for shop news. So let's talk a little bit about 2022, a year in, let's do a little bit of a review for the year. So as far as our shop goes, we had 4 major collections. We had our spring, summer, fall, and Christmas/winter holiday collection. So we had 4 major collections last year. I'm gonna put a few pictures up here of just some random things that we had added to the shop last year, different bags, different stitch markers. And then in June, which was our 5-year anniversary for 3 by the Sea, we've been in business for the last 5 years. So in June, we launched our new hand-dyed yarn collection. We came out with a collection called She Sells Seashells. And since it was summertime, it was very tropical and very ocean-y. And our very first colorway ever was the She Sells Seashells and the Starfish mini that went with it. So we were so excited and so proud of that. And then it just took off from there. We did a Christmas in July special, and then our fall collection included a collection of yarn, and it, like I said, has just kept going, kept building. Our last collection, which was our fall winter one, was probably our biggest one yet, and we just anticipate, hopefully, to keep growing. And we are absolutely just loving what we're doing. We love being able to make bags, stitch markers, and yarn that all go together, and just create a fun collection and a fun experience for you guys. So we overall were very successful last year. We grew exponentially, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you so, so much to everyone who has ever purchased or liked our posts on Instagram or our videos, or just supported us in any way that you can. We are so grateful, and we just are so excited to see what happens next in 2023. Personally, for me, 2022 was also jam-packed with events. Like I said, I started the podcast in January and had no idea what to expect with it. So it's been fun watching that grow and watching me sort of develop a way to communicate with you guys and to get sort of comfortable talking to everyone and showing the things that we're working on. It's been fun, it has felt like a growing experience in that way. I had surgery earlier this year, back in, was it March? I think it was March. I had my gallbladder removed, which is a fairly common surgery, but the beforehand, because I didn't know that I needed my gallbladder removed. So I had what was called a gallbladder attack. Again, fairly common, but extremely painful. I had to stay in the hospital for a few days. It was so crazy and so unexpected. But that sort of forced me to slow down and realize that I needed to take better care of myself and to be aware of the signs that your body gives you when you are not okay. So that was something kind of crazy. What else? We've just been so busy with 3 by the Sea, and for me personally, being a single mom, and my daughter, I have 2 kids. I have a daughter who's in college, and I have a son who is in middle school. So Olivia she moved out this year. That was really hard for me. And, you know, watching my son grow up and becoming a teenager. I mean, next year he'll be in high school, like, and not even next year, this year in August, he'll be in a 9th grader. So it's just so fun but bittersweet to watch your kids grow up and to see them go through these milestones. It's just been an eventful year for me personally. Not to mention all of the growth that I've made knitting wise. So let's talk about all of my finished objects for 2022. I got a new calendar, or a new planner. I mean, I did get a new calendar. It's not here yet. I ordered it on Amazon, but like a wall calendar. But I got a new planner for the year. It's just so cute. I love the craft and the black wording. We kind of use a font similar to this sometimes. And I got this on Amazon. It's Ray Dunn. It's the large deluxe spiral planner. So if you like that, you can get one on Amazon. So it has like a monthly spread as well for the month. And then after that, each day, you can write something for the week. So that will be very helpful to be able to plan out our weeks as well. So anyway, so last night I was doing some looking at my pictures and my notes just from various, you know, notebooks and things that I had laying around with all of my project bags. And I realized that I need to be better about taking pictures of my finished objects because I take a lot of progress pictures, but I don't take a lot of finished object pictures, which is silly. But so that's one thing for 2023 that I'm going to be better about, is taking more pictures for documentation of my knitting. But I was able to go back and write out a list of all of the things that I have made this year. So, and I'm gonna try, if I can, to put up pictures of them, at least, if not finished object pictures, but at least I'll have some progress pictures for you to see. And then, well, I'll talk about socks in just a second. So for 2022, I made 3 hats. I made 5 cowls/shawls. I made 2 blankets. I made 3 garments. They were all, well, one was a pullover and 2 of them were tees. And then I've made, I estimated, I mean, I wrote down at least 17, but I'm thinking it's more like 20 because I know that I gave some away as gifts. So anywhere between 17 to 20 pairs of socks. So I would say overall, I definitely made the most socks. As you can see here, I have this pile of socks and this is just some of them, okay? So, oh, and I also forgot to mention that I designed a sock pattern and released it this year as well. So that was very, very exciting. This was this is it. This was the sweater weather sock pattern that I designed. I don't have my sock blockers handy, but this is the sweater weather socks that I designed earlier this year, like after the summertime. And I think I released it in October or November. I can't remember. See, I need to be better about writing things down. But I really enjoy knitting socks, as you guys probably know if you've been around for a while. Obviously, that's something, I mean, just based on my list, that's what I enjoy the most because that's what I've made the most of. And I know there's smaller projects and you can make more of them, but clearly there's an overwhelming majority of socks. So I don't know that will change for 2023. I mean, it might. I might slow down a little bit with socks and only do one a month. But I think I said that last year and that obviously didn't happen. So maybe I'm just I don't know. I'm not sure. But I love knitting socks. So I'm just gonna briefly show you some of the socks that I made last year. I love making shorty socks. I love making full length socks. I love doing patterns, but I also love doing just, you know, plain stockinette, plain vanilla socks. I love the stripy socks that the crazy sock lady does. Those were a lot of fun to knit. She knit with our yarn something very similar to these. And that's fun to have twinsies with her. I love, so this is like just a vanilla sock with some little stripes at the bottom. I think I started these, or I finished these over the summer. I love self-striping yarn. This is the Bumps in the Road socks by Amanda. What is Amanda's last name? I don't know. Dog Mom Knits. I'll link all of these people below if there's a pattern. So I love self-striping yarn. I loved my Yarnable box that I got last year every month. That was a fun subscription. I just love knitting socks. I love socks. I don't know. So this is just a little snapshot of all of the socks that I've made over the last year. Oh, these were really fun. I finished these, I want to say over the summer. These are the Rainbow Connection socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And I don't remember, I think the pattern calls for 2 different color yarns, but I used 3. And this yarn is from Arkansas Yarn Co. And I just love it. And of course on Stellina, perfect. So I also love scrappy socks. I did some fun Halloween scrappy socks earlier, back in October. I made my mom those fall scrappy socks that I showed on the last episode. And that brings me to, so let me put all of these back over here. That leads me to my first finished object for the year because I finished my all bundled up socks. I think I had the first one done last time and I was working on the second one and I just flew through the second one. This is our all bundled up colorway that we had in our winter collection. It is sold out, I believe. Yes, it is sold out. But this is what it looks like knit up. It was a highly speckled colorway and it just looks so much like winter. I used a pop of color at the top and then I used a contrast color for the heels. And then I didn't have enough to do the whole toe. And I'm actually glad I didn't because I just love the little pop of color at the bottom as well. This purple color is from our Candy Cauldron mini set that we had in the shop back in October. So that's them. It's just a plain vanilla sock, 64 stitches. I think I used a US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter. So that's my first finished object to show you. These are washed and I just laid them out flat to dry. I did not block them. Normally I don't block my socks unless I am gifting them or I am wanting to show off the pattern that is on the sock. Like these, I would block. I did not block these, but normally to show the pattern, like for a picture, like finished objects pictures or pattern pictures, I would I would normally block something like that. But for just regular socks that you're wearing, you don't need to block them on like sock blockers. You can just lay them out flat. Some people even put them in the dryer and they're fine. Especially if it's a superwash merino, then they're fine in the dryer on low heat. So that's all of my knitting for 2022, and then my first finished object for 2023. And I already wrote it down, so I'm just gonna keep a running total in my notes, in my planner for things that I finished for 2023. I did not do that for 2022 for some reason. Even though I had the knitter's planner and I had all these plans to keep up with it, and I didn't. So that is something that I'm gonna be working on for sure for 2023. I do have another finished object to show you. I have not blocked this yet because I haven't figured out how I'm going to block it yet, and you'll know what I mean in just a moment. So for my advents for this past Christmas, I had the Hue Loco DK Weight Vista Fade Advent Calendar. And I decided to make the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. And this is what it looks like. Now this pattern does call for fingering weight yarn, and my advent was for DK weight. So I did have to make some modifications. I went up 2 needle sizes. And so instead of a US 6, I used a US 8. And I got a 60-inch cord. These are a ChiaoGoo fixed, red lace fixed needle set. And I used all 24 minis, but because they were DK weight, that wasn't enough to finish the pattern. So I used all 24 minis, plus it came with a 50-gram well, not full skein, but it came with a 50-gram skein to open on the day 25. So I used that at the bottom for the border. And I just went until I ran out of yarn. I increased to the last number of stitches that you needed right before the border. And I did that with like day 23 and 24. And then I started the border, and that was it. So it's probably about the same size as the Anthology Throw would be with, if you used fingering weight yarn instead of DK. But I'm very happy with how it came out. The pattern, it was very easy to modify because of the way that the pattern is. You just can stop or start really whenever you want to, which is nice because that's easier to modify depending on what kind of minis you have. So I haven't woven in any of the ends yet. I mean, there's only going to be probably 2 ends to weave in because I put everything together through Magic Knot. When I was finished with 1 mini, I just Magic Knotted it to the next mini. So I haven't blocked it yet because I'm thinking I'm trying to figure out how I want to lay it out. Probably just soak it, spin it in my spin dryer to get all of the excess water out, and then maybe just lay it flat on my bed, like on some towels or something. So scoot back a little bit so I can try to show you full length. I haven't measured it yet, but it's a pretty decent size. And I love the colors. I'm so happy that I made this with the DK Advent instead of the other Advent, only because the other Advent was all Christmassy colors and I knew it would be a Christmas blanket. And for this one, I wanted it to be a regular blanket, but it's also, you know, you can throw it over your shoulders if you fold it over. And this isn't even blocked yet, so it's so beautiful, so soft, so squishy. I'm really, really, really happy with how it turned out. I hope you're able to see this. Let me try to stand up and show it. If I lay it out over my chair, the colors in it are just so gorgeous. I really love the fade. And it's sort of ruffly down at the bottom. You don't do your final increases until towards the very end anyway. So, and that kind of creates this ruffle down at the bottom, but once you block it, that ruffle could go away if you pinned it out. I'm not going to do that because I just like it the way it is. But it's great to have to throw over your shoulders or to put over your lap when you're sitting on the couch. So I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. I have, it's quite an accomplishment for me. I mean, I know it was DK weight, so it obviously goes faster, but I've never finished an Advent project like so soon after Christmas. I've definitely never finished one before Christmas, but this one I finished a few days ago. So really, it didn't take me too long. I did get a little bit behind, but I was able to catch up very quickly. So that's my second finished object. I think that might be my only other finished object because, yeah, everything else is still a whip. So what do you guys think of the blanket? Have any of you started it in Anthology throw? I know a lot of people were gonna make this with their advent calendars. So let me know if you have made one and what you're using to make it with. I would definitely knit this again. I would even use DK weight, but I might try it with the fingering weight next time to see how that works out versus the DK weight. But I'm overall so pleased with how it turned out. And Hugh Loco's yarn is gorgeous. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of the whips that I'm working on. This one I showed you on the last episode. It's the pair of socks that I'm knitting. And this yarn from Little Bean Loves Yarn, and it's Peppermint Swirl, I think is the name of it. I have one of the socks finished. And this is how it turned out. So cute. The contrast color I'm using is from Bigfoot Fibers. It was from her Advent that I got a few years ago, and it has some stellina in it. This pattern is the Heel Toe Do-Si Do socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I did modify the toe. I'm using the umbrella toe by Kay Jones. But I'm using, and I just did a regular slip stitch heel flap. And I'm already on the second one. And I'm just about to the heel. I think I'm just a few rows away from the heel. So what I'm doing is every 10 rounds, I'm adding a light bulb marker to help me keep count. And I'm just pulling them from this sock and putting them onto this sock. So I don't have to go hunt for other light bulb pins. And also, so I know where I'm at with this sock. I don't have to necessarily count anything. It's just a little trick that you can use. So these are so fun to knit. This pattern is really fun to knit. I highly recommend it. It's the Heel Toe Do-Si Do pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. She actually has a pair of, I think they're fingerless mitts in this same pattern that I might try and see if I like those, because I haven't made any fingerless mitts ever. Have I? I don't think I have. And so that's one of the things that I want to try this year. is some fingerless mitts. And I really like the design of this, so I think it would be fun to have a pair of mitts in that sock pattern. So that will be a finished object next time for sure. Probably my second pair of socks finished for 2022. Last time I did not show any progress on this hat because there was no progress on it. But this hat is, let's see, what was it called? This hat is the Autumn Gold. It's called Autumn Gold by Faye Perriam-Reed. That's what it looks like. And I got this on Etsy, this pattern. I used our Sweet Shop colorway on our Sanibel base, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And I've made a little bit of progress since I showed it last. It's a slouchy hat, and it's basically, other than the ribbing, it's all lace work and cables. Not too difficult of anything, and I've never done cables before, so I'm about 2/3 of the way being done, I would say. I have a few more inches to go of the body of the hat, and then I'll start the decreases. But I love the pattern, and I just can't wait for this to be done. It's so lightweight because it's fingering weight and it's the lace work. So I know this type of hat will be perfect for where we live because Florida doesn't get that cold, but there are a couple of months a year that you might want to wear a hat. So that's where I'm at with that. I did make a little bit of progress. Now that the blanket's finished and those other socks are finished, I'm going to be working on that more. Do I have any other whips? Oh yeah, I have one more whip to show you, I think. Yes, one more whip to show you. Okay, so the last whip is something I started and showed on the last podcast episode, and it's the Love Note. Mohair in my mouth. So the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. Looks like this. And I talked about how I had frogged a sweater. I went into great detail about this sweater that I frogged, and I'm so happy that I did because this yarn is a fingering weight yarn in a Surrey alpaca silk blend held double. And I had used this yarn for my other sweater, but when I frogged it, I just kept them together rather than trying to pull them apart. I caked them up together because I knew I wanted to use them in another project together. So I just caked them up together, and I started the Love Note, and I have made some progress since you saw it last. Last time I think I was still on the or I had just finished the yoke section with the lace, but I hadn't split for the sleeves yet. So I have split for the sleeves, and I put them on these extra stoppers that I had that came with my new needle set that I showed last time that my mom gifted to me for Christmas. She gave me a Luca interchangeable needle set. It came with these extra cables and these stoppers. So I put the sleeves on stoppers on each side, and so now I'm just knitting on the body. I've knit about that much past the sleeves. So now it's just straight knitting all the way down The reason why the top looks funny like this is because you do a provisional cast on and then you go back at the end and do your ribbing around the neckline. So I have a feeling once I get through the body, then I will probably go back and do the neckline before I do the sleeves. That way I can try it on and make sure that I like the neckline and make sure that everything's good there. Then I'll measure out how long I want the sleeves to be. I think the sleeves on this are 3/4 sleeves, but I may want to go a little longer, or I may leave them just 3/4 because I do like that. So I am loving it. I loved the lace work section. It was so enjoyable to knit. And if you use stitch markers for each repeat, I cannot recommend that enough, to use a stitch marker for every repeat of the lace section because it's extremely helpful. So the lace work was fun. It's very open and airy. You're using a size 10 needle. So perfect for just a big kind of chunky sweater. It's so soft with the suri. I'm just loving it. I cannot wait to get this finished. Now that my blanket is done, this is my main focus because I would like to have this done in time for Valentine's Day. Maybe I could even wear it for Valentine's if I go out on a date with Gary or something. I don't know. It's just been very enjoyable. I highly recommend the pattern. It's a great, I mean, this could even be, if you're used to color, or not color work, but if you're used to doing lace work, or you've at least done lace work before, it's not complicated, so you could totally do this. So this would be fine to be your first garment, in other words, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm hoping to get a lot more progress on this, maybe even finish it in the next 2 weeks before I podcast next. I don't know if that's possible, but I'll at least be almost finished with it next time because this is certainly my main priority at this point. So those are all my current whips. There are a couple of lingering whips that I have, maybe like 2 that I need to get finished. My goal for January is to finish out all of my projects. I mean, other than that sweater probably, because that might take me a little bit longer than the next couple of weeks. I don't know. But I only have a little bit left on the socks. I'm not casting on anything new for January. I've already decided. And the reason why is because I want to take January, finish what I have been working on, finish anything lingering that I need to get done, and start fresh for the year in February. We're doing the knit along or the make along for Valentine's Day. So I will cast something on February 1st for that. Probably with the Charlie Brown yarn, and it'll probably be socks. So I'm not going to cast on anything new, but I will finish those other socks way before February 1st. So that means I'm going to have no socks on the needles. That's going to be a really weird feeling. So I don't know, but that gives me a chance to finish the hat, finish working on my love note, and I do have a couple of other lingering whips. One of them is that crochet blanket that I'm making for my niece and nephew's baby. And I have another blanket that I started last year around this time, the Bits and Bobs blanket. I'll show those next time and any progress that I have made on them. Maybe if I show them, I'll work on them for the next couple of weeks and show the progress and try really hard to get them finished by February 1st. That's my goal, is to get all of my current whips and any lingering whips done as much as I can in January so I can start fresh for the year, February 1st, with our make along. So I don't think there's anything else for us to talk about. Don't forget that in the shop, I showed the rest of the yarn that's there. There's not much, just 1 or 2 skeins of each thing that I showed. The Charlie Brown yarn is there. That's a pre-order. There's not that many of those left as well. They've been selling really fast. So if you would like to use that for the make-along, you can, but go ahead and purchase it now. You'll get it in plenty of time for the make-along. And next weekend on the 14th, we will have a mini shop update with a new minis set, as well as some new Valentine's Day themed stitch markers and progress keepers. I think that's about it. I'm going to try really hard to podcast every 2 weeks. I've already got it planned out for the next couple of months. And I want to stay on a schedule of every 2 weeks for the podcast, because it's just such a fun way to connect with you all and to get to know all of you. So thank you so much for everyone who comments and who shares a little bit about you with us. I really, really love reading all of the comments, and it's just so fun to be a part of the community that we have here. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and tell all your friends about us once we hit the 1,000 subscribers, which probably won't be too long away. We will go ahead and do a giveaway here on YouTube for our 1K subscribers. So thanks again for such a fun year in 2022. We're all so excited for what's in store for 2023. And I'll see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye. The 3 by the Sea Designs team, along with my mom's sister. None of this sounds good.